you suck at using spinning tackle, you got two choices. Either watch my video or continue to suck at using spinning tackle. Stay tuned. In today's show, we're going to talk a little bit about spinning tackle. It's going to be kind of a spinning tackle 101. I know a lot of people have a lot of trouble with that kind of fishing, and today I wouldn't say I've mastered it, but I'm better than most. So anyway, we'll talk about some of the things that I do. If you've got some suggestions, drop them in the comments below. But anyway, we're going to fish a little bit, and I'm going to talk a little bit about what I'm doing. One of the best ways to get started when you're getting is whenever you're getting your spinning tackle ready. You know, you hear a lot of people say it, but you know, it really helps if you put your line on your spool the same way it comes off your spool when you're filling your filler spool. So that's what I always try to do, is make sure. And you can tell that even if I have a difficult time of telling which way it's going and all that kind of stuff. A telltale sign is you can look at the end of your rod as you're spooling your new line on, and if it's trying to wrap around the end of your pole, that's a good indication that you're not doing it right. So turn your filler spool the other direction and reel some more and see what happens. Now, also, one thing that I do that I've seen a few other people do it. I started doing this years ago, and like I say, it's kind of gotten more popular. After I put that new line on, first of all, I don't fill it all the way up. If you fill it all the way up, that stuff's just going to uncoil. It's going to be a nightmare. After I put on what I do, I probably put, I'm going to probably say 3/4 of the spool I'm going to fill up. After I do that, I'm going to run some warm water over it for probably 15 or 20 seconds. I don't know why it does it, but it just kind of relaxes that line, and you just don't have the mess ups that you normally have. You know, once you get on the water, what I like to do is whenever I cast it out there, I'll make my cast. Most people will engage their reel with their handle. I always do mine with my hand. I flip my bail with my hand. It does a couple of things. First of all, it cuts down on line twist. The other thing it does, my hand's already right there. After just about every cast, I pull it out. I pull my slack out. That's where your loops come from. Keep it all out like that. And I think that'll help a lot in itself. Surely I'm not getting a bite. I don't think so. If he is, he's gonna wrap around the Honda. Off the leaf. I usually leave my drag a little bit light, and where I can pull it with my hand pretty easily. You know, I need enough drag where I can drive that hook home, but I don't want to have so much drag that I break my line. I set the hook fairly hard, so if I get bit, we'll probably see that. But anyway, just some of the things I do. The water's really cold today. It's like 48 degrees. I don't know if we're gonna get any bites or not. I've been wanting to do this video, and the weather's just been horrible. It's been raining and carrying on, so I've been wanting to shoot this video for about 4 or 5 weeks. I just hadn't had a chance. Every time I've been fishing, it's been pouring down rain. Another thing I'll do too is, if something happens and I do get a loop, I don't have a loop right now, but if I do get a loop, what I'll do is, rather than unspooling my bail, undoing my bail, rather than doing that, I'll keep my bail closed, and I will pull. You can loosen up on your drag a little bit and make it a little easier. Pull that loop out against your drag. When you do that, it keeps all that tension there, and it'll finally just pull itself out most of the time. lot of guys I see, and a lot of guys I carry fishing, and they'll use my stuff, and they have to flip that handle to the other side. Man, that gets on my nerves. If you're a right-handed person, you should be able to fish like this. I don't know why, but I've tried it the other way. I just can't do it. I don't know. That's what's crazy. I cast my bait casters probably 85 or 90% of the time left-handed, but I don't know. It just doesn't feel right to me. I guess if you're left-handed, it would be okay. You just gotta close that bail, pull that line out. Hope for a bite. Kind of crazy. I mean, over the years, I've caught a lot of big fish on spinning tackle. Matter of fact, I've had the biggest fish in 2 or 3 circuits I've fished over the years. I have had the biggest fish of the year that I weighed in, and I know at least 2 of those times I did it on a spinning tackle. You know, 8 or 10 pound test. I rarely go under 8 pound test. Sometimes, you know, water's real clear, I will. I don't like it. I like to stay about 8 or 10. Don't really go over that either. Come on, babe. Here's somebody coming. Let's see back. You know, one of the advantages of using spinning tackle also, besides using the light line and small baits and that kind of thing, you know, you can let that bait fall and it'll fall straight down. It doesn't pendulum back. If you're using a bait caster, a lot of times it'll pendulum back halfway to the boat and you're out of the strike zone. So you're sitting there spinning your wheel. I really like spinning tackle. I don't always use it, but when I have to, I feel good about it. Most people dread it and fight it, and it ain't nothing to fight. You know, one of the more popular things this day and time, I'm still not big on it, but there are a lot of guys that are using braid for their main line and then tying on, you know, 9 to 12 feet of fluorocarbon on the, you know, as a leader. And I do that sometimes, but I generally don't fish that way. I'm still kind of playing with it, so may change at some point. It's a lot cheaper to do it that way for sure. Casting distance seems to be a little bit better with the braid. It goes like a 20, 30 pound braid. And probably about 20. Tie your 8 or 10 or whatever on it. Look at a big old spotted bass in there somewhere. Looks like spot territory. Like a little heavier rod than a lot of them do. It's an MS2 TN Magnum Spin. It's kind of a medium heavy, is what I would call it. It's kind of the heavier side of medium for sure. I'm kind of old school, as you can see. I've got the Tennessee handle. I've got it taped on, got the reel taped on. You know, to be honest, I guess people just like what they like. As far as the reel I use, I'm using the Shimano reel. This is actually a Syncopate, and man, I guess, you know, I'm one of the few people I actually like the trigger. I learned to fish with the trigger. I got used to it. And to be honest, I can't hardly use the other kind, not very well. What I like about it is not only does it have the trigger where I pull that line up, it also, whenever you're reeling it up, it always comes back to the same place. The ones without the trigger don't come back here. They're able to stop anywhere and lock up. I like it to come back to right there. That way I'm ready to fire. I like to pull that line out and just keep all that memory pulled out if I can. Don't want those loops. Those loops can be a problem. Okay, let's summarize the tips. Number one, make sure your line's going on correctly. Make sure that it's going on your spool on the reel like it's coming off the filler spool. Secondly, make sure you don't overfill your spool. About 3/4 of the spool is about right. If you do any more than that, you're gonna have a nightmare. It's gonna be coming off there and you won't know what's going on. The third tip, after you do that, run your spool. Usually I just run reel and all under hot water for 20-30 seconds. It relaxes that line. I don't know why, but it does. After you get on the water, you make the cast. Make sure that you're engaging your reel with your hand. Don't do it with the reel handle. Do it with your hand. Once you do that, it brings us to number 5. Your hand's already there. Just pull the slack out. A lot of times you got some kink in your line. Just pull it out. So you're not really pulling against the drag. You're just pulling that slack out, pulling those loops out, the memory. As far as drag, I run my drag a little on the light side. I've got to have enough there to get that hook set, but I definitely don't want to break my line. I set the hook pretty hard. I rock the boat pretty good when I do it. And so if it slips a little bit on my hook set, I'm not going to cry as long as I get that fish pinned with that light wire hook. If you do have loops, it's inevitably you're going to have a loop every once in a while no matter what you do. If you do, the best thing I've seen to do is you might loosen your drag just a little bit and pull that out rather than flipping your bail. So many people flip that bail. Man, you got line all over the boat and it's just a mess. So what I do is I keep my reel engaged and I'm pulling against the drag. Like I say, if you have to, you can loosen your drag and it usually will pull itself out. It just helps tighten it up and it pulls out. So that's a good thing to do. As far as tackle, what do I recommend for tackle? Well, I can only tell you what I like. I like a 6.5 to 7 foot rod. I like it medium heavy. What I'm using now are I've got some old All-Stars I use. I'm also using the All-Pro. They're all Tennessee handle. I like Tennessee handle because I can put that reel on there exactly where I want to. If you buy one that's got the regular handle, you're right there where the manufacturer puts it and you don't have any kind of say-so. I like mine a little farther back, and so that's why I do that. I'm addicted to it. I've been using them for 30 years, and I'm just old school. You'll find that out a lot about me. I'm old school on a lot of things. As far as the reel, I'm a little different there too. Unlike most people, I like the one with the trigger. They're a little more inexpensive. I go through several of them, but I do like the trigger. What I suggest is a 2500 series, either in the Spyrex or the Syncopate. One thing I like about the trigger, not only are your trigger and your line up there together where you can just pull it, it also, whenever you're getting ready to cast it, I don't have to chase that bail. I know exactly where it's going to come back to every time. Makes it real handy for me. Okay, as far as lines go, like I mentioned earlier, 8 to 10 pound test. I like FC Sniper Sunline. I will use some Invis X Seaguar, but I definitely like the 8 to 10 fluorocarbon of either brand. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I hope you got something out of it. Maybe it'll make you a little bit better spin fisherman. Anyway, thanks for watching. Catch y'all next time.